notice we're surrounded by food? It's in grocery stores, of course, restaurants and drive-thrus, food courts and vending machines. Snacks and drinks are in stores not even in the business of food. It's at parties, meetings, and every type of media. We've built an eat more now world. Aren't we lucky? While 1 in 7 people in the world suffers from hunger, the abundance of high-calorie convenience foods and less active lifestyles has given us a global epidemic of obesity. The majority of adults in the U.S. are either overweight or very overweight, in other words, obese. And kids are catching up fast. Obesity rates around the world are increasing too. And get this, most overweight people are also undernourished. That means they don't have enough of the essential nutrients, like vitamins and minerals. Being undernourished causes health problems, such as frequent sickness, frail bones, and poor vision. Being overweight can cause diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, heart disease, and depression. Being both is really not good. But with a zillion choices, how does anyone know which foods to eat? Or how much of them? That's why the U.S. Department of Agriculture periodically revises its dietary guidelines. They're for everyone over age 2. If you have no special medical or dietary needs, then these are for you. The newest guidelines offer a simple tool called MyPlate, plus 3 main recommendations. First, choose nutrient-dense foods. Second, balance calories. And third, limit solid fats, added sugars, and sodium. This program teaches you what it all means. Let's get started. MyPlate is a visual representation of how to build meals that nourish your body, fill you up, and supply the energy you need. One of the most important dietary guidelines is easy to see on MyPlate. Make half your plate fruits and vegetables. You can also see that a meal should include grains, protein, and some dairy too. But where are the nutrients we keep mentioning? They're in our foods and beverages. The main nutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Vitamins, minerals, and water are nutrients too. Each nutrient does a different job. Working as a team, they enable your body to function, grow, and repair itself. The list of nutrients your body needs is a long one, and the amount you need of each one varies. But the important thing to know is that we need them all. When nutrients break down during digestion, they release energy. This energy is measured in kilocalories, or just calories. Our bodies use that energy as fuel for everything we do. And all our activities, from sitting around, to jogging, to playing tennis, burn calories. But if we take in more calories than we use, those calories don't just evaporate. Our body stores the extra energy as fat. That's why MyPlate emphasizes foods that are nutrient-dense. Nutrient-dense foods are high in nutrients and relatively low in calories. How do you know if your food is high in nutrients? Check any nutrition label and you'll see percent of daily value. Daily value is how much of each nutrient you need daily to be healthy. If one serving of food has 20% or more of a nutrient's daily value, it's considered high. 5% or less is low. Calories have their own measurements. 400 or more is high, 100 is moderate, and 50 calories for one serving is low. Most fruits and vegetables are nutrient-dense. 1 cup of strawberries has more vitamin C than you need for a whole day. You also get some other vitamins and minerals, and just 43 calories. So strawberries are high in nutrients and low in calories. Strawberries also have fiber. sometimes called bulk or roughage. It's the part of plant foods that doesn't get digested. Fiber keeps your digestive system functioning and makes you feel full longer. Fruits and vegetables, from apples to zucchini, are full of fiber. A cup of steamed collard greens has a low 49 calories and high amounts of 6 different vitamins and fiber, plus 14 other nutrients. And don't forget legumes, like kidney beans, black beans, split peas, and lentils. All are known as wonder foods because no other food contains so much protein and fiber. 1 cup of lentils will keep you feeling full for hours. When choosing your fruits and vegetables, try to get the whole rainbow of colors each week. Nature's brightest color foods, the reds, purples, oranges, and dark greens, contain phytochemicals which help prevent cancer and other serious diseases. Like all foods, fruits and veggies are the most nutrient dense when they're the least processed. Commercially processed foods have been changed from their natural or whole state. So they're more convenient, last longer on store shelves, or simply look or taste more like foods they are not. Processed foods are usually full of added substances, such as salt, preservatives, dyes, and other chemicals, as well as sugars, chemical sweeteners, or fats. All these ingredients turn nutrient-dense foods into calorie-dense foods. Let's compare a medium-baked potato, a whole food, with a large order of French fries, a processed food. They're about the same weight, but you'll get 145 calories from a baked potato and 539 calories from the fries. The fries soak up so much oil when they're fried, they're almost more fat than vegetable. So when possible, choose fresh, whole foods. Frozen can be a good alternative. If that's not available, try canned. But those often have at least some processing, so just look out for added syrups, toppings, salts, and sugars. And remember, fresh is best. When you're cooking, try to steam, bake, roast, or microwave. These methods don't add extra calories, and your food stays recognizable. Dairy products offer the calcium, vitamin D, potassium, protein, and magnesium our bodies need. But for a dairy product to be nutrient-dense, it must also be low-fat or non-fat. 1 glass of whole milk has the same nutrients as a glass of skim milk, except it contains a lot more fat, which means a lot more calories and a greater risk of heart disease. Dairy doesn't have to mean a glass of milk, just any product made with milk. That could mean low-fat yogurt or even fat-free pudding. Or dairy might show up on your plate as low-fat cheese in a casserole or sandwich. Next, let's look at the quarter of your plate waiting for grains. And not all grains are equal. Just as you should check ingredients to ensure dairy is low-fat, you should check your grains to make sure they're whole grains. In fact, each day at least half of your grains should be whole grains. Grains are made from the kernel of some plants you've heard of: wheat, rice, oats, corn, and some maybe you haven't, like barley, buckwheat, millet, amaranth, and quinoa. Decades ago, manufacturers began processing grains by stripping away the protein and nutrients. The process made products white, flaky, and fluffy, and made them last longer. At the time, no one thought food processing was a bad thing. It was technology, progress. They named it refining, as though it made a product better. And sometimes they even added a few nutrients back in and called it enriched. Now it should be really good for you, right? Actually, these grains are not as good for you as whole. Whole grains have much more protein and fiber to keep you full. So how do you identify foods made with whole grains? You can't rely on color. Brown can make a product look wholesome, but it doesn't make it whole grain. Pictures of wheat or names of grains like durum or rye don't mean whole grain either. What if the label says it has 4 grams of whole grain? Is that a lot? Here's a hint. Most people need 48 grams each day. Products with a significant amount of whole grain often have one of the Whole Grains Council stamps. Or check the list of ingredients for the words whole wheat or 100% whole grain. Fortunately, many grains are easily available in their whole form. Your plate is looking good with fruits, vegetables, and grains, but you need some protein. The guidelines recommend a variety of protein-rich foods, not just red meat or poultry. They also suggest choosing lean protein. That means it has very little fat, just like your dairy. Are you sensing a trend? Eggs, fish, and unsalted nuts and seeds are nutrient-dense sources of protein. So are the legumes we mentioned earlier, so you can use them in the protein section or the veggie section of your plate. See? Wonder food. Try replacing meat with dried beans or peas. Remember, they're nutrient-dense, high-fiber, low-calorie, and inexpensive. The guidelines also strongly recommend eating 4 ounces of fish twice a week. Fish is lean and packed with B vitamins. A big benefit is that the oil in fish contains omega-3 fatty acids, which help maintain a healthy heart and prevent cardiovascular disease. However, some fish are high in mercury, which can be toxic to humans. Check the Natural Resources Defense Council website to learn which fish to eat and which to avoid. Protein is an important nutrient, and it helps you feel satisfied and full. But it doesn't have to be the star of the plate, as in the old days. This is a modern, healthy, and filling meal. Half the plate is fruits and vegetables. Grains are whole. There's a variety of color and very little fat. MyPlate is a handy visual tool even if your food is in bowls or in a bag. In your mind, unpack or separate your food into its components and judge whether you're getting the variety and amounts you need. Here's a day's worth of healthy meals, plus a snack. Don't worry about every meal looking exactly like MyPlate. The idea is to eat a wide variety of nutrient-dense foods over the course of a week. This amount of food supplies 2,000 calories. Use MyPlate to get the most nutrients for the fewest calories. It's the best way to feel satisfied and energetic all day. Let's review. Nutrients, such as protein, carbohydrates, and fat, are substances in food that make our bodies function. When nutrients break down, they release energy, which we measure in calories. If we take in more calories than we need, they're stored as fat. Nutrient-dense foods and beverages are high in nutrients and relatively low in calories. Make half your plate fruits and vegetables. Make a fourth of your plate grains, with the majority of them whole grains. Dairy products should be low-fat or non-fat. Eat a variety of lean protein, including beans and fish. Next, we'll look at the balancing act of energy in, energy out, all measured in calories. Balancing calories means making the energy you take in equal to the energy you use each day. When calories in and calories out are equal, there aren't any extra to store as fat. But eat more calories than you use, and you'll gain weight. Eat fewer calories than you use, and you'll lose weight. Since obesity is an epidemic, let's focus on 2 ways to tip the balance toward weight loss. One is to eat less. Consume fewer calories than you use in a day, and your body burns some of your stored fat for fuel, and you lose weight. There are many ways to trim your calorie intake. Your first step? Learn what your personal daily calorie requirement is. Only 1 in 10 people knows theirs. Yet without that number, it's almost impossible to try to balance calories. Your daily calorie requirement is based on your age, gender, height, weight, and how active you are each day. Teens and young adults need more calories than children and older people. Taller people and men need more than shorter people and women. Very active people need more than less active. The interactive tools on the USDA website make it easy to get an estimate of your daily requirement. Once you know how many calories your body needs in a day, you can start to get real about how many calories you actually take in most days. Most of us aren't aware of every morsel and sip we consume in a day. So it helps to record what you eat and drink. Research shows that people who monitor their meals and calories will start to eat less, because they realize they don't really need or even want everything they've been eating. They sometimes realize they've been drinking hundreds of calories several times a day. When people become calorie conscious, they seek out nutritional information so they can choose lower calorie options. If you find yourself craving a snack, take the apple test. Are you hungry enough to eat an apple? If the answer is no, you're probably not really hungry, just bored or in the habit of eating in that time, place, or mood. Don't snack. You're not really that hungry. If the answer is yes, your hunger is probably real and it's time to refuel. Go ahead and eat that apple or any other nutrient-dense food. And don't forget to watch your portion sizes, especially when you eat out. Especially when you eat out at fast food places. A portion size is the amount of food you put on your plate to eat in one sitting. Visualize the food arranged onto MyPlate, or bring it home and actually put it on a plate. Sometimes there's enough for 2 plates. When that's the case, pack up the extra for a future meal. A good mantra to remember for eating out: take half home. By the way, take a look at your plate, bowl, or glass. Is it enormous? Makes you want to fill it up, doesn't it? Huge dishware is a recent design trend, but try using a salad plate. Using a smaller plate, bowl, or glass really does help you to feel full while eating less. So the first way to lose weight was to take in fewer calories. The other approach is to use more calories. Let's take a look at ways to do that. You could increase the time you spend being active, or increase the intensity of your exercise. That means putting more effort into activity. You should get your heart rate up and probably even sweat. An average-sized guy walking at 2 miles per hour for 30 minutes uses about 90 calories. Accelerate to 3.5 miles per hour and use about 130 calories. Play basketball and you're looking at over 280 calories per half hour. More activity can mean using hundreds of calories more each day and losing weight. If you combine strategies, eat fewer calories and use more calories, you'll have the best chance of shedding extra pounds. Physical activity plays a big role in managing your weight and maintaining your overall health. It strengthens bones and muscles, improves flexibility and posture, helps control blood pressure, and lowers risk of serious illnesses. And here are a couple of bonuses. Physical activity improves your mood and suppresses your appetite. Physical activity should be a part of your day every single day. It's absolutely essential for good health. Children age 2 and up and teens should get at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity every single day. Adults need at least 30 minutes of moderate activity to maintain their weight. But if you're trying to lose weight, or lose weight and then maintain it, you may need 60 minutes daily. And here's some good news. You don't have to do it all at once. 10-minute activity sessions are fine, so long as you get your heart rate up. People with a chronic disease or at risk for heart disease or stroke should talk to a doctor before starting a new program of physical activity. Let's review. Balancing calories means the number of calories you consume equals the number of calories you use. Consume more calories than your body uses to gain weight. Consume fewer calories than your body uses to lose weight. To decrease the number of calories you consume, it helps to know your daily calorie requirement and then track everything you eat and drink. Avoid oversized portions by imagining your meal on MyPlate, or by using a smaller plate, bowl, or glass. Take the apple test before you snack. To use more of the calories you've taken in, increase the intensity or the amount of your physical activity. The guidelines recommend 30 to 60 minutes of vigorous activity every day. Okay, now we know how to balance our calories, and we know what goes on our plate. But what doesn't? The third main recommendation in the nutritional guidelines is about what not to put on our plates. Avoiding sofas is a first step toward losing weight and better health. You'll need to avoid these sofas as well. SOFAs stands for solid fats and added sugars. Most Americans need to reduce their intake of sofas and sodium as well. They all lead to serious diseases. Some foods, such as refined grain products, typically contain all three. Solid fats are the ones that hold their shape at room temperature, such as butter and lard, and the fat in beef, pork, and lamb. Oils can become solid fats or trans fats when they undergo a process called hydrogenation. Solid fats have high levels of saturated fats, which raise your level of harmful cholesterol, clog your arteries, and put you at risk for stroke. They're in baked goods, fast food French fries, stick margarine, and in deep-fried foods like chicken and fish. Definitely limit foods that contain solid fats. Eating them on rare occasions is okay, but not every day. But remember, not all fats are harmful. We need small amounts of unsaturated fat to be healthy. Some fats can help lower cholesterol, prevent heart disease, and help people with diabetes. But just like everything else, we need the right kinds in the right amounts. Oil is an unsaturated fat that is liquid at room temperature. It is naturally found in foods such as nuts, avocados, olives, salmon, mackerel, and albacore tuna. Use small amounts of oil when you cook, instead of using solid fats. Now, what about sugar? Isn't sugar natural? Sugars are naturally found in many nutrient-dense foods, but sugar in its many forms is also added to processed foods, especially snacks like cookies and candy, and beverages like soft drinks, sports drinks, and fruit drinks. A 12-ounce can of orange soda has about 13 teaspoons of sugar. That's more than a quarter cup of pure sugar in one can. After years of consuming large amounts of added sugar, you've probably developed a taste for it, and thus a habit that gives you a lot of empty calories. Added sugar and added fats are called empty calories because they don't deliver any of the nutrients you really need. So if you're thirsty, grab a drink that will hydrate and nourish you. Have you had a cold glass of milk today? And what about water? It is needed by every cell in your body, helps you digest food. It even makes your skin look better. All that for 0 calories. And then there's sodium. It's the key ingredient in table salt and an essential nutrient. So why cut back? That's easy. Most Americans consume twice the amount they need, and too much sodium causes high blood pressure, also called hypertension. Too much sodium increases the amount of water in your blood, so more fluid is pushing harder on the walls of your blood vessels and arteries. Yikes! And what happens next? Brain damage, heart damage, stroke, blindness. About 1 billion people worldwide have hypertension. Yet it is one of the few diseases most people can reverse. When your sodium intake decreases, often your blood pressure does too. Many people think the trick is to stop adding salt to their meals. But really, the problem isn't found in homemade foods or the salt shaker. We really need only a tiny amount, a teaspoon or less. But we get far more than that from the old culprit, processed foods. Manufacturers use sodium to preserve meat, turn baked goods brown, and enhance other flavors. Store-bought breads, frozen foods, frozen chicken dishes, pasta dishes, pizza, cold cuts, ketchup, soy sauce, salad dressings, all are high in sodium. So there's another great reason to eat fresh, unprocessed foods. Your sodium intake is sure to go down. Prepare foods at home so you can control the amount of added salt. Chicken contains very little sodium, so roast and season one with onion, garlic, and lemon instead of salt. Read food labels to choose food marked reduced, low, or no sodium. Drain and rinse your canned vegetables before you heat them. When you eat out, ask for your sauces and dressings on the side so you can use them sparingly. They are almost always high in sodium. Once upon a time, you became used to the taste of oversalted foods. That means you can train your taste buds to go back the other way. After a short time, you'll discover you actually like the natural flavors of foods and other healthier spices too. By making smart choices, you can avoid becoming another statistic. Let's review. Solid fats, like butter, lard, shortening, and fat on meat, clog your arteries and contribute to heart disease and stroke. To avoid them, use vegetable oils for cooking, make unprocessed foods a priority, and only rarely eat baked goods, ice cream, pizza, and processed meats, like hot dogs, bacon, or salami. When sugar is added to foods, it adds calories and little nutrition. To avoid added sugars, stick to fresh foods and choose water or milk over soda, sports drinks, or juice drinks. Sodium is an essential nutrient, but so much is added to processed foods that it's a major cause of high blood pressure. To cut back on sodium, cook your own fresh foods and buy those marked low sodium. Read labels. Now that you're familiar with the USDA dietary guidelines and MyPlate, the world of food might look a little different to you. You know to eat from all the food groups every day: fruits and vegetables, whole grains, low-fat dairy, and lean proteins. You know how to balance calories, and that most people need more nutrients, fewer calories, and a lot more exercise. And you know it's important to avoid solid fats, added sugars, and sodium. Let these three main recommendations be your guide to eating smart, and you'll be on the path to a lifetime of good health.